Hey guys, this is Hamon, and welcome back to Bytesize, the show where I review games that I have taken interest in. They don't have to be old, they don't have to be new, they just have to be something I'm interested in. And today we're going to be capping off the technically 3-part thing that I was doing that it's like I was planning to make 3 games into a quick bites video, but I decided to make them into 3 separate videos because I felt like I needed to explain their differences a little better. So, this time we're talking about Little Witch in the Woods, a pixel art designed Stardew Valley, Tale of Portia, Rune Factory, Harvest Moon type of thing where you're playing as a witch. Before any of that, I will say that this game is available on Xbox Game Pass for free if you're a subscriber. Otherwise, it's available on the following consoles, if any, and that this is in fact a game preview version that I experienced, so it is not completed yet. So there will likely be changes in the coming future as this game is developed further. So what I am talking about right now, it is just what I experienced through the game preview version on Xbox Game Pass. With that said, the story is that you are a young witch that has graduated the school that you were studying at and were on their way to the big city to further their studies when the train stops, halted by something on the track. Now, while riding the train, you were noticing something in the distant hill that you wanted to check out. So, since the train was stopped, you decided to go check it out. Along the way, you find this abandoned house that it seemed like another witch lived there. Now, after checking out what you went there to see, you decide to take a nap in that house. For whatever reason, even though I'm sure there were beds on the train, you oversleep and find out that the train left without you, and thus you are stuck there until they make a return trip. So basically, you're stranded for a while. But not to worry, you still have that house you found, and there happens to be a village nearby. So yeah, that's how it goes. With that said, here's the rundown. Graphic-wise, it looks very nice, very cutesy. And unlike the previous 2 games, where they each all have different art styles to the game they're conveying and such, they're all pixel art games. This one has a more cute, chibi, fantasy type of look to it. So the characters are a little more detailed in their overworld design. They have talk box images that are very intricate. Shows more of what the person is supposed to look like. But the overworld version has more detail, has faces in some regards. So you can actually tell a little bit more about them than, say, Chinatown Detective Agency and Loot River combined. They even have, I believe, idle movements somewhat. So that's a nice little improvement. And like all of them, they all have very lovely backgrounds. This one is the fantasy type of thing, so you have these nice lush forests, dark dungeon-like places, and all kinds of other things that you have to consider. And the building insides are very nice to look at as well. So there's that. It's very nicely done. Now, in terms of the music, I barely got any at the very beginning. I'm gonna say that. I'm adding music to this because there's this one thing that kind of took me off for a bit, and that was the main menu. I'm expecting, maybe, a little bit of a subtle overture type of thing, like a welcome to the world type of music and all that, or just a menu music in general. But I didn't get that, so it was just kind of off-putting. All I could hear was the train as it was clickety-clacking down the tracks. Now, once I started the game, there was music added, but it just felt weird not having that. So that's just a minor thing. I'm sure they'll add music later on for the main menu, but regardless. We'll just move on to the next part, which is gameplay. Now, gameplay is basically, like I mentioned very early on, Rune Factory, Tale of Portia, all those games. You're a witch in the middle of the woods, there's a town nearby, so what are you going to do while you're waiting for the train? You're going to do what witches do, which is apparently make potions and or candy. Now, each of these potions and or candy have a specific purpose, whether it's pulling weeds or curing curses or whatever have you. And to make these potions, you need to collect ingredients. I would assume that there's a farming element to this at some point, but at the very beginning, you are mostly tasked with just picking fruits, plants, animal parts from the world around you. And once you collect those ingredients, you take them back home, you put them through the extractor so that you can extract the essence of the ingredient. You can put them through a thing called the roaster so that you can roast the ingredients. But that is probably going to be unlocked later because in its current state it is unusable, but it is in your workshop, so it's just merely a matter of getting the missing part. But after you get the ingredients you need for the potion and or candy, you throw them into the cauldron, then you set the temperature appropriately, and then you stir appropriately if required. Once it's done, the potion and or candy is made, and you put it to the purpose that you need, or you give it to the customer that needs it. I can't believe I'm doing this in the middle of a storm, but I have to make this because I freaking didn't realize that the audio at this point was bad. Anyway, the reason you need to make these potions for yourself is that there's going to be points where you'll need them to do certain things, such as a weed puller potion to pull weeds that are blocking your path to access certain areas. There's a cursed candy that will remove curses from people that are afflicted, or perhaps yourself at some point, who knows, but yeah, basically various potions will be needed during this entire adventure that will allow you to access certain things or do certain things within the story itself. So, other than making it for money, you're going to need it for other various reasons. Okay? We cool? Now give me 5. Here's the thing. I'm just going to say this right now. The fact that its premise is very much similar, like, the only difference is how they ended up there, is very interesting. Like, it's not exactly Stardew Valley or Ruin Factory as such. It's more of a Tale in Portia or Tale in Portia type of thing. Because Tale in Portia, you're playing as a builder and you make money by doing builds and all that. So it's more of that rather than farming. So it's very interesting what I'm seeing so far and would like to see it as updates come out. So with that said, in its current state, I would honestly recommend checking it out, if anything. It is free, as I mentioned earlier, on Xbox Game Pass, for those that are subscribed. Otherwise, it is available on the following consoles, if available, at the price at the lower left hand of the screen. And with all that said, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Bytesize. If you did, please leave a like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And I will see you next time. Bye!